Okay, let's keep this party going. I'm going to talk about 3 Aroldis Chapman trades for the New York Yankees. Now, Chapman, we know, I mean, he's a very polarizing figure for the Yankees, but he's either utterly untouchable and dominant, or he's completely lost. And it's very rarely in the middle between the two, when it's one of the reasons why he's so polarizing, but so enticing, so frustrating, and so many other things. And he still throws, 100+ miles an hour, but he's also durable, and that's one of the things that's an advantage for a team, or it's a benefit for him, an advantage for him. So he's a big, strong dude. He throws really, really hard, and when he's on, he's really, really on. He can be dominant. He's been dominant here, and he's been non-dominant here. So, but I think the Yankees are in a position where they can potentially move him now that they've got some more arms in the bullpen stable, and even the rotation can move into the bullpen. So I'm not exactly sure whether they're going to move him or not, but if they do, it'll likely be for some payroll relief too. And I know there's a lot of sentiment about them wanting to move Zach Britton and Chapman. Chapman will obviously be easier to move because he's healthy going into 2022, and Britton's not. But here are 3 trades, nevertheless, that I think would be represent fits and would help the Yankees and help the acquiring team. So, and keep in mind, this is not about helping the acquiring team. This is, both. You're going to have to give something to get something. Okay, it's going to have to hurt temporarily in order for it to benefit in the long run. So it's just the way it is in trades. And but the first one is with the Atlanta Braves. I mean, and it's not like the Atlanta Braves are going to be buying low. I mean, he's still dominant. He's healthy again. He's past that rough stretch, and it's not, his value isn't at his uber duper peak like it was the first half of the season when they probably could have moved him, but they didn't. But it'll be Aroldis Chapman at about $7 or $8 million in payroll relief over to the Atlanta Braves. Okay, he makes $18 million in 2022, so it's a lot of money. So Chapman at $8 million. Let's just say over to the Braves for Jared Schuster, who's their number 9 prospect, the left-handed pitcher, and Spencer Strider, their number 10 prospect, the right-handed pitcher. So this is obviously, a trade for prospects, but it's also, more importantly, clearing a roster spot and getting, $10 million in payroll relief. They're gonna have to eat something to get rid of him, and if they want to move Britton, they're gonna have to eat probably quite a bit and attach 1 or 2 prospects to him in order for him to move his $13 million, because he's not going to be ready until probably summertime. So, but this represents a fair trade, and the Braves could use another dominant reliever, and they have the farm to give a couple of prospects. And these number 9 and number 10. This is not a top 5 prospect. I don't think he'll net a top 5 prospect from any team. To be honest with you, he only has 1 year left. So, but So that's the first trade with the Braves. The second one is with the San Diego Padres, who have a need for just more durable pitchers, starting and the relief end. They've had some injuries, obviously, across the board. They're heavily front-loaded or top-loaded team with a lot of some suspect backup depth, but Chapman would be a nice addition to their bullpen. So this case, it's Chapman at $5 million cash plus Davy Garcia. To San Diego Padres, so they get a starting pitching prospect who is just not panning out here, unfortunately, but it was durable, and Aroldis Chapman and some cash for Adam Frazier. They get the super utility guy back here that I think they should have gotten at the trade deadline, but did not. And he's got one more year until his free agency, so that essentially becomes a salary swap between Frazier and Chapman if we're kicking some money, and then Robert Gasser, who's their number 10 prospect, a right-handed pitcher. So. And again, Chapman, Cash, and Davy Garcia, who's going to be blocked here anyway, and I just don't see it working out now with Davy, unfortunately. To San Diego, who'll get a young, durable starter, and Chapman plus some cash here. And I think this represents a fair trade, a pretty balanced trade. And the Yankees again get some roster payroll relief and clear a roster spot. So. And Garcia, I think, is on the 40-man too, so they're clearing 2 40-man roster spots, so that's a good thing too. They need to do quite a bit of 40-man roster spot cleaning out this offseason. This gives them a chance to get 2 of them right off the bat. So that's trade number 2. Trade number 3 is with the Chicago White Sox. I know they have Craig Kimbrell, but it sounds as if they're picking up his option and then trading him somewhere, which will clear up the option. And it just didn't pan out for him in the Chicago White Sox, unfortunately. So, but this gives him a chance to get in another dominant reliever, and if the Yankees eat some money, it'll be a little bit cheaper than Kimbrell. So this is Aroldis Chapman plus $5 million in cash, plus Estevan Florial, who's going to be blocked here anyway, not only by the starters, but Greg Allen, Tim LeCastro, guys like that, and whatever they do this offseason. So At Chapman, $5 million cash, and Florial over to the White Sox for Matthew Thompson, their number 7 prospect, the right-hand pitcher. Mick Rodolfo, the number 11 prospect and outfielder, and Sean Burke, the number 12 prospect, the right-handed pitcher. So 2 pitching prospects and an outfield prospect for Chapman, Cash, and Florial. Again, represents, clearing 2 roster spots, payroll relief, and getting some decent prospect capital in return. The Yankees could stockpile the farm with some more prospect capital either way. They have the guys already at the major league level that they can use to replace Chapman, so they don't need a major league relief pitcher in any one of these trades in return. The Yankees have uber depth in relief, so it's something to keep in mind. That's why it's prospect heavy. But again, payroll relief gives them the flexibility to invest in other places where they need to invest. Player personnel, starting pitching, like positional guys. So that's the whole point of these trades. And again, not saying they need to get rid of him, but he's become an expendable piece now, even though he's still pretty dominant. And I think he'd just be a better fit at this point, moving on to other teams, because the Yankees can put Johnny Lasagna, they can put Luis Severino, they can put other guys as closer. And now they've got Stephen Ridings coming out of nowhere, and Clay Holmes, who they acquired in the trade, and then they still have Wandy. Like, they have depth on the relieving end. So I think these represent fair trades. So you let me know what you think. Give me your feedback in the comments. If there's anybody else that you want me to put a trade video for, a couple of trade proposals, let me know. I was going to do Stanton, but I'm going to wait until if they decide on the National League DH, because it would make a lot more sense. Because right now I can only see him going. He has a full no trade clause, and as far as I know, he would have only waived it for the Dodgers or the Yankees. So it's only one trade I can actually make. So I'm going to wait until if the NL adopts a DH, then it gives me more options to do trades. So because opportunities open up at that point. So anyway, have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.